Working? Okay. Hey, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're doing well. I haven't posted in a while. I know it's been kind of crazy. I didn't finish up, leaving Egypt, what happened there, and Syria, and so I'm just gonna wait up on those. I just wanted to share something, because really feeling it right now about America and what's been going on so far. So I'm in Boston, Massachusetts right now, teaching Arabic at a program. Um, First thing I noticed when I got here is the silence. It's I said hudu'un qatil in Arabic. It's like a killing. I mean, it doesn't make sense in English to translate it literally. A killing silence, but it's just so weird because I'm so used to the noise. Even now, it's just very very silent. Even though I'm in Boston, well, I guess the suburbs of Boston. I could actually hear the cars moving on the ground as opposed to honking. And just in general, I mean, from the airport to the streets to the suburbs where my hometown is, people just seem really, really, really sad. They smile less, they joke less. The suburbs look like a ghost town. There's no guys on the street lights to enforce the lights themselves, and it's just, I don't know, it's really sad and depressing. And they do say that when you first come back to your country after being abroad for a while, you'll go through this curve thing, and so you'll have your low point in the beginning, and then you'll get better. Well, I guess I'm in a low point right now in terms of what I think of the U.S. Differences I noticed, people running and jogging, you just don't see that as often, especially in the middle of the day. And of course, less clothes, which is just, being used to a different culture, it just seems so inappropriate to do that. And here, in Boston, I'm next to a bunch of college students, these apartments, just all day, all night, and so it's definitely different. Though I must say one pro is that I can finally wear my MSA or Muslim Students Association shirt, which translates it into Arabic, اتحاد الطلب طلبة المسلمين. Uh, and the reason is that I couldn't wear it in Syria or Egypt because if they saw a student organization and Muslims, they would, I don't know, maybe do something. I was advised against it. Really finding it hard to adjust to in the beginning, though it's getting better every day. I think central AC is the biggest waste of energy, and I can't believe that people have it, including my family at my house. It's such a waste. I love the Egyptian and Syrian system of putting a little air condition in every single room and then just focusing on that one room. It's so much more efficient. Um, I do only eat organic eggs that are cage free, and drink only organic milk from free roaming cows, and only eat meat that is halal or kosher. And I don't eat gelatin that is from pork or animal products in general. And so, I didn't have these issues while abroad, and I was able to eat from everything in the street. And now I'm just like so constrained in what I can eat. Um, it's not cool, but that's how I used to live before. Um, Another thing is this is a big culture of driving instead of walking in public transportation. Generally speaking, I'm talking more about my suburb rather than Boston here. And so, if I'm with friends and we need to just go a little bit more, they'll maybe get in the car and drive an extra 100 meters or 150 meters, which I think is just, why not just walk there and then walk back? I don't see the point in doing that. So I didn't have a cell phone at first. I got one with very limited minutes, but I just hate this thing. I got lost, I was driving, there was no cell phone. I went to use a payphone, and apparently they're not very, very big here. It was in Birmingham, and the speaker didn't work. I called my friend twice. The GPS that I was using had no signal. The street laws were ridiculous. It was like you had to wait like a mile to be able to do a U-turn. Oh, it was very annoying. It seemed illogical to me. I just parked the car and I just started jaywalking, and I was like, forget this. I'm sick of this. Um, I saw a friend at Starbucks, and I was really surprised that it closed at 10 p.m. And they came up to me. I just had forgotten how early things close around here. And I guess it's different from place to place, but I mean, general mainstream large franchise like Starbucks closes at 10 p.m. in some places, which I found really ridiculous. People dress differently. I've written it twice here. Barely any clothes on. I mean, it's a big difference. Concerning the economy, I mean, Egyptians are amazing in that no matter what the situation is, it always seems like they're able to adjust to it. And I don't know if the same is about the US. I mean, our standards of living have been lowered, but still, I mean, compared to other people, we're living like kings. The economy has really hit my town hard, and the state of Michigan. Many people have been laid off, being forced to retire. It's crazy. Everyone I talk to has a story. Um, when I'm going around, I'm used to hearing the call to prayer and know that it's time. But now I have to look at my watch, which is so much more different. And how about a place to pray? You know, it's not as easy to find that. I went from being, in terms of my religion, the majority to being a minority again. I really feel out of sync. I think the greetings here are very impersonal. It's like a handshake, maybe a half hug, rather than kissing people on the cheek, which I prefer. Um, you may find that different. Or some people say, "Oh, that's so homosexual," or "That's so, gay that two men are kissing each other on the cheek." But they do it in Italy, from my knowledge. They do it in France, and they do it in most of the Arab countries. I mean, everyone that I've heard of, they do that, and it's a very normal greeting. I personally prefer that. It just, it's like, it's really a lot more personal. I went to an Apple store to get my Mac fixed, and the lady started like going crazy. She's like, "I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy." She was really, really mad, and I admit I was listening in on her conversation with the person at the store, and she said that she was waiting for 12 minutes after her appointment time, and I just laughed. I mean, sometimes people are late, whatever. Friday prayer here was about global warming, which is amazing. Um, on one hand. On this other hand, I mean, people should read more. Don't just take the news. Come on, you should read about these things and see what other scientists have to say. Um, but it's just such a different topic. I mean, people here are aware. I mean, the Muslims here give speeches about global warming, talk about the oil spill, talk about relevant issues rather than you should pray 5 times a day. Things that I heard a lot in the Middle East. News here is a joke. Every time I see it, I can't help but laugh. It looks like one big show. I mean, really, it's really, really stupid. It's entertainment. So when I look at people and they're like, "Yeah, I watch the news. I read the news. I'm very sophisticated and cultured," I laugh, and unless they read books and stuff. But that's where the real knowledge is at. The flight attendants for Southwest Airlines had shorts, which was much, much different than I'm used to. And there was no assigned seating, which was so weird. To think that, and I'll tell you the story later, to think that I was on the plane leaving Egypt and the Egyptians were like, "Can we just sit wherever?" Because that's what they do in a train. Um, and then, oh no, we got to be organized. And then the other way, so there are differences. It's insanely boring to listen to a language that I understand, English, and so boring to use it. I'm trying to speak as much Arabic as possible in the program here because there are people who are fluent in it. But it's just everything is in English. The news is in English. The movies are in English. The music's in English. And you're used to living in a language, or sorry, living in a country where the language you're listening, constantly you're listening and noticing and picking up new words and being very careful in listening. And now it's just like, oh, how boring. So I'm trying to look up all the words that I don't know and I can't explain to others. Um, and now, this is the reason I'm posting this now. It's because I really wanted to share this. I